Good morning, everyone, and welcome. This is ESL 1 Katowice 2018, powered by Intel. This is a best of 3 series for the closed qualifiers for the South American region. We've got Team Showtime, a team that's made it through opens, and we have paiN Gaming here today. I'm your caster, Moxie Cass, and I'm here with Forge Dota, and it's bright and early, but we're ready to bring you hype.
I'm really excited for this kind of stuff. We saw a pretty decent showing out of paiN at the recent Captain's Draft tournament, and unfortunately, they did not make it too far in. But that I really feel like that was because of the single elimination. They had a rough draft selection in their series, and I'm really looking forward to see how they bounce back, especially with a little bit of a roster shuffle. It looks like I'm not sure if people are just standing in
Well, I know
or
paiN still
yeah.
hasn't solidified a position 2 player right now, so I believe that'll be Leo Style who will be standing in from Sacred. I'm not sure, again, if they're just trying him out, if he's just a stand in, or if this is something that'll actually end up happening. But they had their CEO Pada actually was standing in for them during the Captain's Draft tournament down in DC. So
It probably won't be an official roster from him then, but I definitely am looking forward to see what they bring to the table. And I always love open qualifiers teams because you never really have a whole lot of data to go off of, which means that anything can really come out of them. There's a lot of surprise factor both for us as well as for paiN. You can't you can't really expect standard Dota, I don't think, from a lot of the open quals teams.
I don't think that's necessarily true. I think a lot of these teams that make it through the open quals actually, they have a pretty good grasp on, what the meta is generally, so that way they can make their way through. Sometimes we see some comfort picks, but from what I looked at before, we saw pretty standard stuff coming through with the opens. They've run things like the position for Tusk before, the Rubik, which has been very, very popular, some ODTA, Void, Weaver. The Clinks was a little bit weird, not weird, I don't want to say that, but a little unexpected. It's not as standard, but the Clinks won 24-7 in that game, so it obviously was the correct choice. But Sand King coming out for the side of Showtime, that's nice hero that we've been seeing a lot of with a lot of these teams actually, and I'm guessing that's probably gonna run as a 4. But
I think Sin King's better off in that 4 position right now, especially with somebody like the Disruptor. If you have glimpse into the Burrow Strike early on or kinetic field into the Burrow Strike early on, really easy setup, lots of kill potential, and scales very nicely. Just with a simple Blink Dagger, Sand King can be useful. So not as necessary to put in that off lane position, but if you do want to run him there, if he's up against some kind of melee core like the Juggernaut or the Life Stealer, can actually be very nice. So I like the Sand King as an open because it's flexible, but if you run him as the 4, still very, very potent.
I'm really liking what paiN's got here with the Tusk and the Shadow Shaman. Shadow Shaman, of course, is very, very popular right now, able to do quite a bit of pushing using those wards. Good team fight as well. You've got the lockdown with the shackles and the hex, and then a nice nuke to be able to push out waves and also just help put a little more damage down when you're trying to get the kills. Tusk, we've seen a ton of lately. This guy is so popular. He's been in almost every game, and if he's not, he's banned just because the shards rework make it even easier now to go ahead and grab your prey, so to speak. Snowball's an amazing save, and just a really good roaming position for right now. So I'm liking what's coming out of paiN here. Showtime also has, like you said, it's nice with the kinetic field being able to also throw in with the Burrow Strike. That's something that they ran before, so it's something that their position 5 player seems very comfortable with. Also, fun note, I think this is Showtime's actually a Bolivian team. I don't see a lot of Bolivian Dota 2 teams from this area, so
Gotta
pretty
get that
neat there.
gotta get that national pride rolling, Moxie.
Well, we've
every
seen a lot of
every
isn't Dota mostly in this region? You see a lot of like Brazilian teams and Peruvian.
Oh
Um,
yeah, no, absolutely.
I think we
It's
saw a
I've
Chilean
been
team last time over in the Genting Opens as well. It's pretty
yeah,
neat
yeah.
stuff.
I mean, SA is kind of like one of the younger regions, not as like long, hasn't really had the dedicated server base to really like grow itself. So now that it's really starting to come into its own, I think we're going to see a lot of really interesting things from South America as it makes its way, basically through the growing pains of a newer region. You look at NA scene a few years ago, and Like it was basically just like EG, and then DC showed up, and it was like, okay, so now there's two NA teams that are pretty decent. You always had complexity floating around, making their way into the big tournaments, but like EG was our one standout team, and I'm really looking forward to see what starts to show up out of SA as like the continuous powerhouses as it develops.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see how this area is going to grow and see what players come out of this area, because it was kind of an underfunded area, and now we're going to be seeing more and more of SA making their way into these majors and minors and such. So, pretty happy to see what's going to be evolving out of it. It's kind of like the Wild West. But, all right, so I was about to say, this is a pretty early Tinker pickup for the side of Showtime. It does leave him very susceptible to a lot of counters to it, and immediately following up, we do have a Nyx Assassin, which is really good for hunting down Tinker. So, need to be careful. He can also go ahead spike Carapace during that march, which will be able to immobilize the Tinker as well. Maybe a little early on that pick.
Yeah, a bit of a. I mean, Tinker is one of those heroes that I think you can kind of feel comfortable about picking this early if the supports have revealed themselves. But it's not like there aren't cores that can deal with him. I think paiN could very safely grab something like a Storm Spirit and run him down. A Death Prophet, just shut him down in lane. There are still good cores that can deal with Tinker, so I'm a little curious why they opted to grab that early. Maybe worried about it getting banned out if it's a comfort pick for them. But we'll have to see what they can make do with it now that they've opened themselves up to any potential counter that paiN wants to throw at it.
Yeah, it'll definitely be interesting. Of course, Tinker also, great way to shut him down is just early on in lane, having a lot of rotations. Tusk is going to definitely provide that that pressure, and if they get someone who's able to kind of stay in that lane by themselves coming out from the side of paiN Gaming, it's going to free up that Shadow Shaman and definitely see the two of them roam around. Shadow Shaman, of course, a little bit slower, does struggle a bit, but if he gets thrown up into a snowball with Tusk, and then they just throw out Shard, Shackles, all that fun stuff, it should be pretty easy for them to get around ganking early.
Yeah, and the push game coming out from paiN, even just with the Shadow Shaman right now, is kind of scary because they have really good pick-off potential, which as long as they don't have to use the wards for the kill, they can very quickly move. And yeah, there's there's another core that deals very well with Tinker. You haunt, you jump on top, you take a really nice team fight, and then you use the wards to get the push, or maybe everybody's just dead and you get a super easy push. But Showtime, I think, does still have themselves, in their own respect, a very good team fight. They've got the Epicenter, they've got the Disruptor ult, the Static Field, and March spam is going to be a problem for some of these squishier heroes. But now with this Spectre pick, Spectre picks up a Blade Mail, just kind of runs through the March, and I'm worried about what might go on here with this Showtime draft.
Well, this is kind of interesting because picking up a Spectre like this, granted, we don't know what their last pick's going to be for Leo Style here, but the Spectre pickup here, it's pushing them into the late game. Spectre is, she's able to do a bit of skirmishing early on, depending on how you build her, but generally you want her to, start getting really big, so they're going to need a space creating mid. And they actually ban out the Quap, which I think is probably a good call here. There's still something like the Mirana, if they want to try to run that in the mid lane. TA struggles a little bit against the Tinker, especially because of March and such, but does come online a little bit earlier. But I feel like they might want something that can kite this Lifestealer too.
Something like an OD might not be too bad here, or the Death Prophet. Yeah,
that's gonna make a lot of space early on. Good silence, and nice nukes.
Yeah, so we'll probably see like a really early build come out of the Spectre. We'll probably see something like the earn into Blade Mail kind of builds, just come online very early, get a bunch of kills from Haunt. Every time Haunt and Exorcism is up, they'll look to either like push a fight, they'll push us 4, Nyx Assassin will go around and scout, and see what they can get off that timing based objective. But I really like this Doom pickup, mostly because of Infernal Blade being very, very good against Spectre. And of course, if you can get the Doom off either on the Death Prophet or the Spectre before those really big ultis come out, then your entire team fight changes, because paiN is a little bit reliant on those ultis to get off to have any chance in a team fight.
Well, I'm wondering now too, because we've got Tavo on this this Nyx assassin, if he's just going to be constantly scouting out ahead of time, and then trying to find favorable fights. But yeah, Doom, you know, it's going to be hard for them to harass him out of lane. He's going to put a lot of pressure over on Spectre, just because, you know, Spectre is a bit squishier early on. We'll really be relying on Duster to zone him as much as possible. But again, Doom, fairly high base regen, and he's very, very fast with that Scorched Earth, so I think it'll be the name of the game is either you try to shut down that Tinker and make it so he doesn't get those bots as early, or you really put a lot of pressure here over onto the Spectre. But here we are, guys, in game number 1. It's like, all right, so courier game here. We've got the noble donkey steed over here on the side for showtime. And looks like we've got, oh, Shagbark. I love this courier. So happy.
Shagbark is pretty good. Though my favorite is definitely the Amaterasu courier. We saw him a little recently, and I love Amaterasu.
I've got the little penguin courier from like one of the tickets back in the day. That's my favorite. I wish he was unusual. If he was unusual, then I could have got that gem that's got like the little snow, like flurries that go around with it. Would have been fun. Oh well though. Looks like Sand King's already planned out his entire life here. He's got his Blink Dagger picked out into his Quick Buy, the Windlace, and the Wand. So he's got a plan. Man with a plan over here.
He knows what he wants, and he's not going to take no for an answer, Moxie. King RD looks to be getting the ward in the mid, so they're going to try and get as much pressure on this Tinker as possible. Keep an eye on those runes. Make sure he doesn't just get free bottle. And that was actually one of the changes that really hurt heroes like Tinker. Was, you know, they kind of rely on bottle crowing, and since you're not allowed to do that anymore, you have to just keep good control of those runes, which heroes like Tusk really allow you to do it, because either they come for the rune and you just kill them with shards and snowball and all the rest of that, or you just get there before they do because he has to leave the lane so early.
All the pings in the world coming out here down at this bottom rune spot. Looks like they're going to try for the invasion. They've got Nyx sitting on the high ground. Death Prophet is going to be able to just come forward and take this rune, no problem. Looks like they don't really want to contest, as Lifestealer continues his occupation of deforestation as a lumberjack.
I'm just waiting for the plaid to come out on Lifestealer. All this cutting down. That was a Canadian joke, I'm sorry.
It's not just Canadians that wear plaid to cut down trees, I'm pretty sure.
Well, I mean, it's mostly in Canada that I see that. Oh, and Tavo's going to do the offlane pull.
I mean, that's what you have to do nowadays. He's taking a lot of harass and doesn't have a solve, so we'll have to go ahead and eat a bunch of trees. But it's pretty hard to get the creep equilibrium to what you want.
One creep actually kind of messing up what he wanted to do and staying behind. It's going to kind of screw with his timing.
He's taking so much damage. This thunderclap that just keeps throwing on him. Oof.
I think if Legend had the mana for a third one, Nyx might actually die there. But
now we do have the shards coming out here over onto Tinker over in mid. Looks like Saga's got to back off. They have the TP rotation coming out from Yafit's here. And just general, you know, shenanigans going on in mid, making sure that neither core gets much out of their lane. Perpetually the at least 2v1, if not 2v2 going on now in the mid lane.
Yeah, and Doom's actually getting zoned out pretty decently by Duster here. He does have his level 2 now, has the Infernal Blade, but the shackles are going to come out from Duster, and I don't know. Doom might have to be careful.
There's a lot of harass coming out, and again, Shadow Shaman has really nice base damage, so those right clicks are pretty valuable. And having a little bit of movement coming out here from the Sand King will make his way top. try to provide some backup. They do get the shackles off. Spectre doesn't really want to do too much, just wants to hit creeps. Although Duster now in a little bit of trouble. I don't think he had realized that the Sand King had made the rotation, and yeah, it's actually going to get first blood over on Duster. Snowball coming in though, will be able to grab themselves a Doom, and now he's just trapped in these shards with these two heroes. He's actually just going to be able to limp himself away. Dagger comes in, does a lot of damage. He's sitting at 32 hit points, but they don't have enough mana to catch him right now. The Spectre tries to get that free pathing here, and it doesn't matter. Those creeps will not murder Doom. It will be Tomato here.
One of the downsides of being too tanky is when you can't deny yourself to creeps anymore. And like he grabbed himself a pretty good early creep as well with the Devour. He got the Wildwing Ripper, which gives him a little bit extra armor to work with, trade a little better with the Shadow Shaman, but it's not what you want in the laning phase. Like ideal creep is the Satyr. You just get huge amounts of HP regen. There's nothing that the supports can do. You just sit in the lane.
There's another jump forward here. Ice Shards get thrown out over onto Doom. We'll be able to use the Infernal Blade over onto Spectre, but they're still hot on his tail here. Duster, he's looking for this opening. He should be able to grab the Doom, but they're trying to throw everybody into the snowball, turn around, and won't even bother using those shackles. It's actually going to be Duster who gets his revenge.
Yeah, a lot of action, and it's good that they're keeping the Doom down like this, but this is leaving Leo Style alone against the Tinker and getting bullied very hard. Just actually farming very well, though.
They're currently top of the CS, 18 and 6 on the Death Prophet.
It's actually really impressive.
Oh, they go after the Sand King up top. They might have enough damage. Snowball will come in, stun him up, one more hit, and Duster going to find himself a very wealthy support. He's got 2 kills under his belt now, under 3 minutes. That's the life. Having gold to do things with. Get those boots fairly early. 80
base damage at level... Oh, okay, he's level 3 now, but 80 base damage is just absolutely insane. And even Duster knows it's insane.
Yeah, nothing to sneeze at.
And Doom might be forced to jungle. He can't really contest at this point because the supports are the same level as him. And you've got the level 2 Ether Shock that's going to come out, do a lot of harass. Shackle's very potent, and these Ice Shards from King RD have just been really well placed.
I think in this case, though, you kind of... See, if the Doom leaves, right, then you run into the issue of them not really needing to babysit the Spectre quite as much, and that means that Tusk is going to start roaming on mid and start making life miserable for this Tinker, so... I think it's worth it for him to stay up there. Obviously, you know, he doesn't want to keep dying. He is struggling pretty hard, but yeah, there's the shackles. Again, Burrow Strike coming through, though. We'll connect over onto 2 different heroes. Doom trying to run himself out with that Scorched Shift. He's moving pretty fast. We'll go ahead, pop the wand, but Tomato's got his eyes on this demon. He's not letting them go. Shards coming in again. Now Yafit's in a lot of trouble here. Last hit. There is a Shadow Shaman on a killing spree.
Yeah, and I mean, Spectre's still farming well. Lifestealer is pulling ahead, but still 19 CS and, you know, 2-0 and 2 on Tomato. So it's not like he's really caring about how much time he's spending killing. He's still getting a lot of good CS. Still already has his phase boots completed. Or actually, no, that's quick buy. Sorry. The UI has been a little weird the last couple days, but still like almost has his phase boots completed at 5 minutes. So still a very happy Spectre.
We do see some movement coming out on mid. It looks like the Tinker is out of mana at this point. Is going to have his boots sent out to him. They should spot them chasing over here. They do have a nice ward giving vision. And it looks like they're actually just going to make their way back top. Meanwhile, bottom lane, a little bit of T-Twist here. My bad. We see that the Nyx Assassin was taken down by Lifestealer here.
Yeah, good rotation from the supports there. Just quick Burrow Strike, open wounds.
Speaking of rotation coming out from supports, looks like Doom isn't even safe underneath his own tower. Shackles come out immediately, though. Look at these TPs coming out in mass. You've got a Disruptor coming forward, and of course, you've got the Tinker. They should be able to get the kill over onto Duster.
Do they have the vision? Disruptor doesn't have mana for both Kinetic Field and Glimpse, so it looks like he should be okay.
Oh, this is looking a little bit scary for Doom again. Shards come forward. Actually, don't fully trap him over, and they'll be able to push back the Spectre. Tomato got to be a little bit careful here. He doesn't get too greedy. And we'll just back himself off and start regenning.
Yeah, Infernal Blade, still a incredibly potent harassment ability. You have to be a little bit careful not to run into fights after they get hit in the face with one of those.
Lifestealer on his way towards that armlet here. Tavo sitting at level 5. Looks like he's completed those arcane boots and just trying to harass Lifestealer as much as possible so he doesn't have any mana here. Mid lane, Death Prophet chasing after Saga. There's a big Crypt Swarm. We'll be able to get the kill and also follow up using Exorcism. That's a lot of damage over onto that tower.
Leo Style is doing a lot of work in this middle lane. Top of CS, level 7 to the Tinkers, level 6, full level, and
bottom lane. Uh-oh, Lifestealer looks like he's gonna fall prey to the Tusk Polar Bear as he chases after him here. Looks like he's got the Infest. Will jump inside one of their creeps and buy himself a little bit more time.
He should be okay. If he pops out, they just like, I'll just wait till the next Grape Wave, pop out, and maybe try and get a turn with Yafits, but more likely just be fine.
Yeah, King RD just gonna try to TP himself out. Will get canceled out by the SK, and now it looks like Tusk just gonna walk himself away from this top lane. There was a TP out. Someone trying to TP, I think, here.
Yeah, Tomato was going on the Disruptor.
And ooh, boy, Tusk barely gonna be able to limp himself away from that encounter. A wild Lifestealer appears.
A wild Lifestealer appears, which is probably one of the most terrifying phrases in all of Dota.
Oh, I don't know. I think it's the slow, either when the Ember Spirit or the Tinker is super farmed, and they TP into your lane, and it's like the slow, like, I'm going to die now. I can't get away fast enough. That, I think, is more terrifying for me, personally.
Well, I'm normally the Ember Spirit of the Tinker, so I have no idea. I'll take your word for it, though.
All right. Or you're the mid Kunkka. Oof.
Oh, are we on this trade again?
Doesn't matter, though. They'll turn around. They'll get the Impale off over onto Doom. Nice Barrow Strike coming out over into Shadow Shaman, breaking those shackles, and is trying to just kind of body block people so that way they can't finish up hitting the Doom. But now they know that Nyx is level 6, and he's made his presence known, so I think we'll be seeing some more dust and sentries being placed out here by the supports on the side of Showtime. Haunt comes out, though, over onto mid. It looks like they've got their eyes on the Tinker, and they will be able to clean up.
And some nice efficiency from Tomato. Just goes right to the bottom lane so that Lifestealer doesn't feel comfortable pushing it. There is a 2-level discrepancy, though. But Lifestealer could pretty quickly turn this on Tomato if he wants. He knows there's no Haunt. There's no TP on Tomato either. If he's not careful, Tomato might die in this bottom lane.
Mid tower looks like it's about to go down here. Death Prophet gets that last hit. And forces Yafits, but there's going to be a big snowball coming in. They have shards as well. Looks like they're going to force a TP out, though. Here comes the Tinker.
Yeah, he had Burrow Strike. There was no point in throwing the shards because
you just get out.
He's just gonna, yeah, he'll just wand and get out.
This Tusk is doing a lot of work this game.
Tomato might get gone on the bottom lane though.
They're hunting through the trees, but weren't able to quite find them. They go, and they've got their eyes over here on this Disruptor. Vendetta followed it up with the Impale, and Tomato going to be able to get this kill. He might pay for this, though. Needs to get into that snowball. Wasn't able to get in there, though, and now it looks like Tusk in a world of hurt here, trying to get himself away, but not going to be able to, and that's going to be a kill getting thrown over onto the Zoom.
That's 100% worth it for the Disruptor there. They do use Doom, but they got a kill on the Tusk as well as the Spectre, slow her down. That's definitely worth it.
We're going to have a full drum completed now on Doom as well.
I mean, drums just seem to be like the hot item of the patch, I think. Like, they're just, it seems like every time I look around, there's like 2 or 3 sets of drums getting purchased on a team.
It's been very, very popular. Same thing has an Invis. They find themselves a Tusk. Sits in the middle of 3 different heroes here. Snowball comes out. Nice silence coming up from Death Prophet. She will follow up using those ghosts, the Exorcism, and of course the Soul Siphon. Turns himself around, trying to just make some space here for the Tusk. Not going to be enough. Lifestealer going to be able to just go ahead, hide himself into a creep, and try to look like, you know, very inconspicuous as they put pressure over onto this bottom tower. If it's standing nearby, does have the epicenter and burrow, but I'm not sure if they want to do this. Yeah, the TP coming out from Lifestealer and the Rage, they just don't want to have to deal with all these ghosts flying around. They don't have any creeps right here on the tower to tank either, so gonna have to trade off on some of that damage being thrown at them. Exorcism's over there. Here comes the creep wave. They should be able to finish this tower because it looks like they're not going to try to contest it coming out from Showtime.
Yeah, I mean, this has just been really, really nicely timed pushes from Leo Style. Every time Exorcism is up, he's pressuring towers, he's going around, and all 3 outer towers are gone already for showtime.
Tavo walks right underneath the sentry ward. They see him. They're pinging out. There's a pesky bug here. Yeah, they actually use the stag storm. Not going to be able to quite connect. Nope, they find him over here, and they will be able to take him down.
I mean, that was a long time of just a Disruptor and a Doom standing there. It's a little suspicious, but really nicely played by them. Good sentry placement, and they do catch him out. They did have to use the Static Storm, but 100% worth it against that pesky, pesky bug.
All right, now Leo Style sitting at the top of the net worth 6.5k, 5.7 over on Lifesteal, and 4.4 on the Doom. Double damage is up and running over on Death Prophet. She's finished up her Yules, and it looks like she's going to be going for that Solar Crest.
Yeah, good armor. Lets you, kind of feel a little bit safer against the Lifestealer. A little bit of mischance, and if nothing else, you have a really good offensive potential with the Exorcism Ghost. I really like the kind of newer Solar Crest build on the Death Prophet.
Got a Smoke of Deceit over here. It does pop. They drop a sentry. They see Tavo here. We'll be able to try to get the glimpse off. Do they have dust, though? Looks like they're not carrying any right now. So, while they can see where he's going, they can't actually see him. I think that'll be something that Legend picks up next. So, yeah. Dust already picked up here on the Disruptor. Bottom lane, though, looks like they're putting a lot of pressure. They've got Serpent Wards. Might try to push this tower.
If Tavo's not careful, his Vendetta's going to run out soon, and then he's going to be in front of a Doom.
He's gonna get doomed.
Oh.
Yeah,
okay, I thought they might turn on that. Supports were headed mid, though. Bottom lane is getting pressured. Do they have wards? They do.
Snowball coming in, followed up with the Haunt. Big Walrus Punch will be able to take down the Disruptor. Looks like Tomato was trying to go over onto the high ground, chasing after Yafet's. Not going to be quite able to finish up there. And I have a great visual bug on my screen. Where that dagger was, it was literally just straight up into the air.
That would have been amazing to watch. I'm a little bit sad I didn't get to see that.
It wasn't really that great. You can always watch the VODs if you really want. Lifestealer now making his way to the bottom lane. Just going to try to go and chew through these wards. Shadow Shaman, he's out. So, got a little bit of unhealable damage onto this tower. Maybe not as much as he would have liked. And now they know that Serpent Wards are down.
Yeah, definitely worth it, though. They force 2 big rotations from the cores, get like half health on the T2, and Haunt's down, but Exorcism is up, which means, yeah, they're just going to come right to this bottom lane. They might pop the Ghost here, or they might just say, tower's already at half HP, we'll just push.
I mean, they're forcing the TP out from the Tinker.
He's got his bots online. He's not too worried about it.
I'd hope he has the bots online at this point.
I mean, he got pressured pretty hard. I don't think he's had them for very long. Tavo really wants to
I mean,
set
they
up
kept
on
Tusking
this
that top lane for a really long time. He did make some rotations later on, but I wouldn't say that he was pressured incredibly hard. In fact, Death Prophet was struggling a little bit in lane early on.
Yeah. I mean, it's really just the tower advantage now. Is a lot of this kind of net worth difference that we're seeing. It's only a 1k advantage, and all of the T1s are still up for paiN Gaming, so once those towers start to fall, we could very quickly see a net worth swing the other way.
Armlet complete on Lifesteal. He's going to have that Deso pretty soon as well, so I think we'll start seeing more and more Infest Bombs. He's been using it very defensively, actually. I don't think we've seen him use it aggressively yet. And, Spectre pushing with their team.
Oh, did they find? No, they didn't find Legend.
Now, looks like they'll get that bottom tower. No exorcism needed. Tavo keeping tabs up here on the Doom and Sand King situation. I'm not sure if they're going to TP themselves up here. That tower's getting pretty low. Might actually just want to go for the denial. Not sure if we'll get there in time. Won't be able to, although, ooh, Lifestealer sitting very, very low here. Tavo goes forward. He gets the Impale, and he gets a nice kill on the Lifestealer. Now over onto the high ground. They were able to take down Shadow Shaman. I'm not sure why he was going there alone, but again, he's chipping a lot of damage on this tower. About half health now.
He's just causing chaos around the map. Like, Duster's just been, like, continually pushing in this bottom lane. And now with the tier 2 gone and the tier 3 at, like, half HP, they always, always, always have to have in the back of their mind, we need to have bot pushed out. Because if bottom is not pushing out, they have to be worried that 30 seconds not paying attention and Duster's just going to drop wards on the T3. And next time, maybe he takes it. Maybe the time after that, he gets damage on the racks. So they always have to keep bottom lane in the back of their head now. So even though he dies there, it's still worth it for the mental damage you're doing to your team.
And they'll actually use the Exorcism, get themselves a Roche. Very nice early Roche, actually, 17 minutes here. They'll know that Exorcism is down. They were smoked up. They had a Lifestealer bomb sitting inside this Doom. I think I would have preferred to maybe see the... Oh, they do spot Tavo, though. Tavo's going to try to run himself out. He uses the Spike Carapace. It's going to be a big fight if they're not careful here. We'll be able to go grab him. They'll get a miniature Ravage over onto these two heroes here. Looks like Tavo's still in a lot of trouble, though. Should be able to take him down. Does pop the Spike Carapace again. Will get murdered by the Lifestealer. And rest of the team... just gonna reset, back off, let Spectre keep on farming here. He's actually gonna be going for that Manta.
Yeah, I don't think Tomato will go for the Radiant anytime soon. It kind of messes with their timing. He's getting himself these really early, item slot efficient items. He's got the Urn already online. He went for the Aquila afterwards, just some extra cheap stats, some good mana regen. Now he's going for like a kind of hybrid early mid late game item with the Manta style. He's not worried about getting like the Radiance and the the heart just yet. If it gets to that point, he still can very easily, but for now he just wants to be grouping around Leo Styles timing.
So I think once Exorcism's back up, they've got their next assassin back again. I think maybe they grab a smoke and try to get a pick off before going high ground. What do you think?
I mean, they can pretty safely siege with either Spectre in front, hitting, and she's got Aegis and very quickly can haunt afterwards, or they can just drop Ghosts, they can drop wards. They are going to listen to your advice instead, though, and go for the pick off. I think if they can, ideally, they get the Tinker. More realistically, they try and get the Lifestealer or the Doom.
And they're all smoked up and they're doing some hunting. There is a Tinker up ahead. Can they grab him in time, though? It doesn't look like they're going to be able to do it.
He's very
Snowball
safe.
coming out here. Just going to make their way down to the low ground. They know that something's up, though. Looks like, oh, they do find the Disruptor. They drop the ward, but it's too late. They just see their own death running at them.
They found Lifestealer, actually.
Oh, yeah, they did. Tinker thinking about TPing himself in. This is looking pretty scary right now. He's sitting there in the Doom. Doom pretty tanky. He's going pretty fast. But they're really looking for us. Doom comes out over onto Death Prophet. She'll back herself off a little bit, but I don't think she has too much to worry about. That's a very low Lifestealer. And it looks like Death Prophet taken down pretty far. They don't have the Shrine. We'll throw her into the Snowball, try to buy her a little bit more time here. And I think that's actually going to be enough.
Yeah, really nicely played from King RD to keep his
the value of a Snowball.
Death Prophet alive. Value of Snowball, indeed. And that was a really nicely timed gank. The question is, do they have enough time? I mean, it's still pretty early in the game, so these respawn timers are pretty low, and I don't know if they have the time to turn this into objectives.
They could actually take the top tower. In fact, that's actually what's being pinged out from the side of the Radiant that they're probably going to head towards. Looks like Spectre's trying to push out the wave here so that they can take this objective, but other people getting into position. We've got the Tusk standing nearby, Tavo still sitting in that Vendetta, and it doesn't look like the side of Showtime is going to go out there and defend in full force anyways.
I mean, they'll probably rotate the Tinker once the creep wave gets a little closer. Where it is now, he can still go bottom, push it out, and yeah, now he's going to TP himself in, blink into the trees. Usual Tinker shenanigans make it very difficult.
Well, they found themselves a Disruptor over here. Nice Burrow Strike coming forward. They'll be able to go ahead, drop the Static Storm. Looks like Shadow Shaman's not going to be able to make it out of this fight, unfortunately. And now Spectre's trying to run herself away, is getting a lot of damage being placed on her by the Doom. Still dealing with these. Actually going to be able to pop the Aegis. They've got their eyes, though, over onto this Tinker. Exorcism now going to come out. She'll go ahead, use the Yules, buy herself again a little bit more time. Epicenter comes out, though, and it's doing quite a bit of damage. Tavo is sitting very, very low, and it looks like that final Infest going to be able to take it out. But now it looks like Lifestealer also going to pay for sticking around for too long. Oh, these rockets are doing so much damage. Leo Style sitting very, very low right now, about 60 hit points. Will be forced back, so that's definitely not how they wanted that engagement to go.
I mean, they lose Lifestealer, and they killed a support and a core with the. Actually, they kill 3 for 2, but it's a 1,000 gold game for them. It's about an 800 swing. Overall, pretty worth it for them. They didn't lose any objectives. They're gonna get this mid T1 whether it gets denied or not, and they didn't lose any objectives. So honestly, a pretty decent fight coming out from Showtime.
And they point out the fact that it's deniable. Yeah, Duster will turn back around. He needs to get one more hit.
If they didn't deny that, I was going to be a little upset. But they did realize how low it was, which is good. Are they going to find themselves a life stealer? No, he's gonna back out. And he's actually going
down for another 70 seconds. I think they just turn around. They go back to farming and let Spectre do her thing here.
Yeah, they need to. If they're going to use those big ultimates, like the Haunt and the Exorcism, they need to make sure that they're getting the Tinker.
Top lane, they found themselves a Spectre. This is pretty scary. Doom comes out on her as well, and there's just too much damage. She will fall.
Tavo just stopped, or Tomato there just stops, and he's like, all right, I've been doomed. There's a kinetic field. I'm not even going to try and run. I'm not getting away from this. But they are slowing down this game, which is kind of good for them because it gives Lifestealer time to farm up some more items. Tinker is becoming very, very menacing. But at the same time, you're going late game against the Spectre, so I'm wondering how well this late game is going to work out. Because on one side, you've got a Spectre, but on the other side, you really only have a Spectre to worry about. If she gets doomed, if she gets gone on, she's the like really hard late game scaling hero for paiN. Whereas you have a Tinker, you have a Doom, you have a Lifestealer who's going to scale very well into how tanky the Spectre gets.
Oh, they found themselves a Tinker, though. Looks like he's going to be able to walk himself out. They'll take down the Tussle, take down Tavo. But Tinker himself will fall now. Duster in a little bit of trouble here, trying to juke around the trees, but those March still hot on his tail. Spectre uses her Haunt over here. They've been chasing after the Sand King for a little bit. Will go back and forth. Looks like they found themselves a Doom. Death Prophet gonna go ahead, use the Exorcism, try to get all of her spells off here. Doom itself is down, so there's not too much that he can do. And with that, looks like they'll turn their attention back to this Lifestealer that will have a buyback coming out from the Tinker. That's a very dead Lifestealer, though. Too much damage with that Spirit's Life and of course the Exorcism. We see the buyback coming out from the side of Showtime with the Tinker trying to just put as many Marching Machines out as possible to dissuade them from taking these barracks. But looks like Leo style, all this rocket spam is being a huge problem here for him. It's just going to TP himself out, especially with that silence being thrown over on Disruptor. He knows that's absolutely safe to get himself away here. And we are going to see that Tomato's going to go back for the Radiance.
Yeah, so now it's getting into 30-minute, 40-minute timing, and you can kind of afford to be a little bit greedier. They are still sitting top of net worth, so he does feel comfortable scaling into that late game. But most importantly, they have the T3, which means they can get shrines now. So this map control where the Tinker is TPing to the top shrine, farming these camps, that's not going to be an option. Once these T2s fall, it's going to be a little difficult for Tinker to get out on the map safely. He can TP to waves still, but if they are sitting in the sidelines waiting for him with a Tinker ward, it's not as safe as TPing to your shrine and getting the ganks off there.
Oh boy. Top lane. Looks like Death Prophet has an untimely... Oh, they're trying to save her using the snowball. I'm not sure it's going to be quite enough. They need to maybe deny her. No, it looks like Tinker will be able to jump himself forward. Now King RD uses the shards, actually manages to trap the Tinker, but March of the Machines doing a lot of work here. Tavo, he's sitting there with the Vendetta, but can't really approach any of this right now.
Yeah, he tried to get off the Spike Carapace stun so that he could save his Death Prophet, but just a little bit too late, not able to get it. And a really, really clean pick from Showtime there. The Doom, Blink forward, and Tinker there to follow up with the damage. Really nicely played from them.
Duster's got to get himself out of here. His invis just wore off. He's actually very lucky that they didn't have any sort of... Well, they did have a sentry nearby, actually. But that's their own, so... Surprised we're not seeing more vision out on the map, especially considering they have a Nyx Assassin on the side of paiN here.
Nyx has just been kind of running around trying to Midas creeps and get information just by running. He hasn't really wanted to show himself by actually placing the wards in case there's somebody nearby, and he's actually going to get spotted out.
They have the vision over there. Tavo's out of there. And they are kind of rolling now as 5. So putting more and more pressure on the map. Looks like they've got their eyes on this top tower. And all that March spam. Ugh.
This early Tinker pick has actually kind of worked out for them because, I mean, at the end of the day, it's still a Tinker, and that's one of the problems of doing your support duo in the first two, right? You see this Tusk, you see this Shadow Shaman, and I mean, if Tusk gets vision, you can roll in early on with the Snowball, and even later on, if you get vision, you can still roll it in with Snowball. But if you don't have that vision, trying to push high ground against him is just so difficult, and they tried to compensate for that with the Spectre, but most of these times they're using the Haunt, they're killing the Doom, they're killing the Lifestealer. There's never really been that time, that really big team fight push where Spectre can use Haunt and go on the Tinker instead. She's never really had that luxury.
Tusk has to be very careful here. He's got some friends walking through this jungle with a Lifestealer bomb. Yaphetz goes for it, finds himself that Burrow Strike, immediately jump forward from the Doom. Should be able to get this kill here, especially with that Sandstorm, and yeah, Yaphetz actually will be able to finish up. So we have the Ghost Scepter over on King RD, but unfortunately it's not going to be enough to save him, not with the magic damage still coming out from that Sand King.
Yeah, and these supports on Showtime are just getting a lot more done across the map, it feels like. Duster's been parked in this bottom lane for... Is the Tinker finally going to get gun on?
Nope, but it looks like... Oh, nice Manta here. Looks like Tavo might be in for a world of hurt, trying to juke himself around here into the trees. They still have eyes on him, though. Should be able to get that final last hit, and they will. They're about to say, though, these wards in the jungle are doing so much information. Like, you've got this one here that was showing, like, the Spectre standing nearby. You've got this one that also revealed that the Nyx Assassin was in Vendetta form, so... Definitely had a lot of information on that they weren't aware of on the side of paiN, and unfortunately, paid the price for it. Doom now picking up the Shadow Blade, so it's going to be even more important for them to make sure that they've got sentries on them at all times, not only just to deward for their Nyx Assassin, but also to keep tabs on this Doom who's looking for any opening he can find to use his ultimate.
Yeah, and they're going to use the Spirits to go into the Roche Pit here, but if Showtime kind of guesses what's going on, Kinetic Field...
Drops a sentry, they'll turn themselves around and maybe find themselves a little disruptor snack here. Silence coming out. He's going to try to just get the D-ward. That
is a dedicated support right there.
I mean, you know you're going to die. Efficiency, right? And we do have the Octarine core completed on the Death Prophet now. Cheese as well.
Did she have that before the Roche?
The Octarine? I believe so, yes. Okay. She was getting really close to it last time I saw. Oh, they actually get the kill over on Tinker in the bot lane.
He's got
that is your opening right there.
He has no buyback for 2 minutes. He bought back previously, and with a Spectre having Radiance and Aegis now, this is your timing push.
Yeah, they need wards. They need to... They've got... Oh, there's a jump forward with the big Epicenter. Should be able to take down that Shadow Shaman. Now it looks like Spectre in for a lot of trouble here. Will get taken down. Does have the Aegis. They'll turn themselves back. Maybe try to get this kill over onto the Doom. There's the Impale. One more hit will be able to take it. And they don't have creeps in the base just yet. Here they come. There'll be the Fortify as well. But again, Tinker, no buyback right now. Now Lifestealer has to be really careful. There's a lot of people in here with a lot of physical damage. In fact, Mato actually chasing himself after the Disruptor, trying to take him down. Then spots the Lifestealer, will be able to murder him, and that's a double kill. Follow up. Oh no, Sand King, he's going in one by one now. That is not what you want to do. Disruptor buying himself back, but...
It's not going to be anything more than a lane. The other T2s are still up, but this is still not a good showing from Showtime here. The Tinker getting caught out without buyback is huge.
Well, I mean, their saving grace is the fact that they still have the tier 2s up over in the mid and the top, so they can't just go for a finish or something. And like you said, it'd be pretty hard for them to do that just yet, because Tinker is about to be up. And the cooldown timers, or not cooldown, but the respawn timers are not super duper huge just yet, so I think they just reset. Death Prophet's got her Exorcism up in about 5 seconds, though. They might actually choose to try to push another lane here, even though they've lost that Aegis. Double damage, especially over on Tomato. I'm sure they want to make use of this.
Yeah, they're actually going to...
Doom.
Oh, not going the Doom? Okay, I thought they were going on the Doom. And now Tomato's working towards the heart, which, I mean, on one side has been scary.
Ooh, Doom comes out over onto Spectre. She's going to just back herself out. Nice save coming out from Duster. We'll be able to go ahead throughout the Shackles over onto Doom. There's the Glimmer Cloak. They'll be able to force him up over to high ground, pop the Shrine. Exorcism will get used. They're going to be able to take down the Doom. Turning themselves around, looks like Legend now in for a bit of trouble. Will get taken down by Death Prophet, and now Tinker says, yeah, no, I'm out. But that's a beautiful Impale coming out. Will cancel out the TP. So that's 3 heroes dead on the side of Showtime. They've got the Exorcism pop. They've got the wave with them for this top tower.
Yeah,
And
that was
they've
a
got their
really nice bait there. I mean, I don't know if Tomato was expecting to get doomed or if they just happened to have everybody sitting behind him, but it was really well played.
Epicenter coming out here from the Sand King will be able to jump forward, but they grab the Lifestealer over onto the side. They take down Sand King. Oh, look at that laser. It doesn't matter. They still take down Lifestealer, and there's no buyback on him. Tinker now going to get used up into the air. They'll try to slow him down. They've got a silence on him. Crypt Swarm comes out. He's sitting pretty low. Can they finish it up? It doesn't look like they'll be able to. He'll be able to get himself into the well on time. But during all of this, lots of damage being put over onto these tier 3s in the top lane. They should be able to get racks off of this. And, yeah, buyback coming out from Shadow Shaman here. They're ready to finish. Will TP himself over to Shrine. Lots of rockets just being thrown out left and right. The March spam coming out, but they don't seem too overly concerned about this right now. So that'll be another tower and racks taken.
They got the pipe on Tavo, so they're just like, all right, you're going to hit the pipe barrier for a bit, and that'll be the worst.
Glimpse comes back over onto Death Prophet, but she's still going to be able to just get herself away.
And she's going to have the link in soon, so that Glimpse potential is going to be a lot less. Spectre has the heart.
Yeah, she's pretty
She's
tanky
incredibly
now.
tanky. The one kind of saving grace about the heart pickup is that you have a Lifestealer with Feast and you have a Doom with Infernal Blade, but I mean, they're just melting to the massive amounts of physical damage that paiN is doing, so I don't even know if that's going to be enough.
And already Spectre making her way over to this mid lane. Try to just put some damage on here, burn down these creeps. Now they do have the Ags completed now over on Shadow Shaman. And he has wards up, but I'm pretty sure they'll probably save those for the high ground. Death Prophet right now has her Exorcism back up, still has the cheese on her.
Honestly, I think they try as hard as they can to take this T2, and then I think they just go Roche.
Oh boy, they found themselves a Spectre, but she's so tanky, and it's a bit of a bait here. Leostar coming out. Lincoln's actually going to get popped on him. We'll turn around with this Exorcism. Might be able to get this kill over onto Yafets, and they're able to get off the dust. Looks like they're going to be chasing them back. Lots of March Span coming out. They will lose the Sand King. He'll fall. There's so much damage being thrown onto Leostar. He's got the cheese, though. It doesn't matter. They'll take down the Spectre, though. And now trying to get this. Oh, they get the Walrus Punch over onto Tinker. That is a dead Tinker, and it looks like they'll take down Disruptor. Last man standing. Look at this Lifesteal. He's sitting at 50 hit points.
Yeah,
They call the GG. Game number 1 of the series. Nope, it says my bad. No, are they really calling GG? All right. And they'll chase all the way back to the well. But first game of the series, gonna go over to paiN Gaming.
Yeah, I mean, the early haunts and the early exorcisms weren't focused on the Tinker, so I was a little bit worried that they were focusing too much on the Lifestealer. But once they had felt that Lifestealer was, you know, behind far enough, basically, they just every single time just jumped right on the Tinker and
Very
shredded him to
efficient.
pieces.
Yeah, very efficient, making sure that every time Exorcism was up, like you said, they were going for fights. And then also, you know, the fact that whenever they had the wards up, they were taking objectives. But anyways, guys, we'll be back. This is a best of 3 series, so stick around.